We're live. It is a Tuesday. I'm Rich Lieberman. This is the Bay Area Media Pulse. You want to know how bad it is at Channel 7, aka the Mouse Mafia Conduit, aka ABC7, aka KGO Television, right there on 900 Front. Several, and I do mean several people, have quietly tried to work out an arrangement with KPIX, aka CBS News Bay Area. That's how bad it is at Channel 7. And why is it bad? Well, the folks who are trying to build a better Bay Area are in the midst of a out and out Disney takeover. Well, they haven't taken it over. They've owned the place for years now. But the conditions, the morale issues, and a lot of that has to be on the set, not just behind the scenes, but in front of the scenes. People want out of Channel 7. The few people that are still there, they're only there because they've either been there a while, they know they've got a little bit of a cushion, they know they have a little bit of security, like Dan Ashley, like Amadeus, like Dan Noyes. But some of the people behind the scene, that's not the case. Dion Lim, we told you right here, is gone by her own decision. And she has not secured a gig yet. There's even talk now that maybe she goes out of the business. Maybe she becomes a PR person at some company, which she'd be very good at. But back to the original headline, people are trying to gather, including Dion Lim herself, who not that long ago auditioned at PIX up the street from Channel 7, right there on Broadway and Battery. And she did well, but she did not ace her interview. And obviously, she's not at CBS News Bay Area or CBS News in general. There's a difference. There's the CBS News 24/7 stream site, which Dion was officially trying out for. And then there's KPIX, as I've stated, known now as CBS News Bay Area. Problem over that is, like most of the outlets in the Bay Area, nobody's hiring. Even for stars, nobody's hiring. Well, you'd have to be an A grade superstar to get a gig. And yes, there is money out there to recruit and to sign superstars. Unfortunately, there's no superstars out there. KTVU thought they'd have a legitimate star in Betty Yu. They hired her away from, speaking of PIX, hired her away from KPIX. Problem with KTVU is Betty Yu has not moved the needle. And while she is a name personality, strong woman, a woman of Asian descent, it has not moved the needle. So the overall theme is most of the outlets are not hiring, but people who work at Channel 7 are fed up. Some of them are just plain tired. And again, this only goes not just for the producers and the writers and the news editors at the newsroom personnel, but over the air people too, anchors, etc., etc. It's not a very pleasant place to work. Even beautiful 21st century studios that they have on the Embarcadero. But Channel 7 has become robotic. Channel 7 has become predictable. And the staff that they do have, there's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of, shall we say, territorial territorial kind of protection. People seem to think that they have to protect their turf in a sort of a metaphorical way, if you know what I mean. And if you don't, well, I'll try to tell you. There are people there who only care about themselves, who only care about their own situation, like Kristen Z, like the news director, Tracy Watkowski Silva, who is a plain incompetent mess. Sorry, that's just the way it is. Most people over there don't want to work for Trixie. They just don't have any faith in her. Sound familiar? And the people that they do have at Channel 7, the very few good people can't wait to get the hell out. Not necessarily just as somebody said, for example, going over to Channel 5. No, most want to get the hell out of there, period. Get their severance checks and see you later, alligator kind of a thing. They being Disney, the Mouse Mafia, Channel 7, they still haven't explained the official loss of Michael Finny. And that's how they treat people over there at Disney 900 Front. They just one day say, you're gone. That's essentially what happened to Michael Finny, the 33-year veteran news anchor, primarily the economic consumer editor anchor, gone, just plain gone. A man who may be considering a legal fight. Don't know on that officially. I'm just telling you as I have in the past, but nothing really specific yet. But don't be surprised, folks, if Michael Finny were to one day have a lawyer and fight. At this stage of his career, even if he were to lose, he has nothing to lose because he's at the end of his career, just short of 70 years old. Fact of the matter is, Finney had sort of knew what was going on, saw the handwriting on the wall, and wanted one last payday, to which Disney, the mouse mafia, told him to go take a hike, basically. But Finney's not the only one. I expect some high profile people to get the sack sooner or later, with sooner being the more obvious choice here. But that doesn't explain the overall mood at Channel 7 is most people want to get out. Most people who want to stay, and this is mostly talent, have quietly tried to audition. Some have been successful. Audition at KPIX. Dion Lim. So we just wait and see. I know for a fact that things are taking place. We're now at the beginning of August, which means September is beckoning, which means that the fall rollout by the local stations is about to take place. When they go into fall mode, that's when they get the big bucks, because summer, historically, they don't have the kind of revenue. The commercials are lighter. They don't have the kind of revenue that they have in the fall. And as we progress to winter and, of course, to Christmas time, when Santa is very nice to the local TV news stations. But the situation at Channel 7, folks, is so dire straits that they want out. A good majority does, because of the direction, or in this case, the lack of direction at KGO. The fact that you have a very embattled news director who has no clue as to what the hell is going on, who plays favorites. That's not how you run a newsroom, because by doing that, you indirectly create chaos, and sometimes directly. I'll be watching out at 900 Front, as I normally do anyway. And any kind of specific information I can give you, once I obtain my own information, you bet I will get you the info. Thank you. And yeah, of course, see you later, alligator.